Was that a beach?
Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel, Two Brothers Outdoors on the Homestead. We had one heck of a storm come through before Christmas. So we're up here today clearing our trails out. We've got lots of trees down. It's a mess.
I got a question. Where's them boys from Southern Adirondacks at?
I know.
We need some help there, fellas.
They're good at keeping trails clear. While we clear trails, we will also show you how we can tell whether a tree will produce lumber or whether the tree is just rotten on the inside. It is, by the way, a balmy 16 degrees out. Alright, so we went from there to here. Not very far. Took a cruise around the property this morning. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, on to the next trails. You see all the trees down. A lot of them didn't follow the trails, which is a good thing. Jim's gone ahead, like put the saw away on the four-wheeler. I see him already moving a tree. He's gonna fight him now, he's gonna get mad. He'll start pushing out real hard, then it'll break, he'll fall in the snow. Alright, we've arrived at the next tree, which is down by his tree fort. How much you want to bet that ash that we want to hit the ground is still standing in that other tree?
I already looked at it, it is.
Is it? The one tree we want to hit the ground, and it won't.
I think if you cut this up, I can just drag it right over there. Everybody's falling up when you put it.
This is why they call him Lumberjack. He can buck up a tree in like 1.2 seconds.
You know what?
Now, in past years, we have this much snow, you wouldn't see a deer track up here. I know, they're all over.
All the tops of the trees we've left behind and the brush growing up in the hinge cut and stuff. The deer are staying longer.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Saw them all the way up through hunting season this year.
Fell on your bear log.
Buck that up one more time.
All right. Video.
Huh?
Video.
I am.
Fell on your bear log.
Huh?
You got a hollow log here that the bears like to frequent. They dig bugs or bees. I don't know what goes in it, but
yeah, they did get in my bear log.
They're constantly in the bear log, and this tree fell.
You know, I can barely ever see them there because of my tree stand so far away from it.
Ooh. I don't want to go under. I'm afraid to hit a rock.
Yep. Well, it's dead.
This time of year, you can't see the rocks under the snow.
No.
You see the sparks coming off the saw.
All right, let's get this one out of the way. We'll be
Okay,
back to you in a minute.
we got that out of the trail. So
The other night we were looking for some cherry trees. We have one cherry right there by the tree fort. We have one cherry right there. And we have one cherry right here. Now we've talked about how do we choose a tree to take down for what we need. So out of these 3 cherries, let me show you why we would pick the one we picked. All right, so we're going to start with this cherry right here. Now obviously it's not hard to tell why we wouldn't choose this cherry, because it's got this curved trunk where it was pushed over at one time and then straightened up. From as high as it was pushed over, I would say it was probably from a storm. Now this tree, typically, of trees that's been in areas that's been logged, it's been hit across the bottom here. So this rot would probably go, I'm going to say 2, maybe 3 feet up into the trunk. But this trunk is crooked anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now if we walk around this part of the tree over here, you'll notice where there was a big limb. Well, I'm going to say not a big limb. That was probably the top of the tree at one time, and it died out, broke off as the tree grew straight. All right, that's open. That's going to allow water to run down in the trunk. So that old trunk is going to be rotten. Now above that, maybe a foot above that, that tree is going to get solid. And I see maybe 2, maybe 3 good logs in there. It's going to be in the range of 12 inches or so. All right, so we let that cherry ride for a while. Actually, if that cherry were to, if we needed some smaller slabs, that cherry would be taken down, because that's obviously it's an unhealthy tree. But even though it's unhealthy, right now it is reproducing and dropping seeds. So leaving it's not a bad thing. Now we got this big cherry. Did you hear the coyote wolf? What's that? Did you hear that coyote wolf just now? We got a few coyote tracks. All right, this cherry tree right here, that's a good sized tree. And let's walk around the base of it. All right, the base shows a little spot where it was nicked right here at some point in its life, but not bad. But the problem with this cherry is just like the one we just looked at a minute ago. You see that spot right there? That's where a limb was in this cherry. The limb died, broke off. It's a good possibility that that trunk from that point down is going to have rot in the center. Maybe not, but I would suspect it would. At least a foot from that is going to be rotten. And that ding in the bottom, a foot from that. So possibly you might get 1 good log out of it, but I wouldn't plan on it. If I did, it would be a pleasant surprise. Now past that knot, going up the tree, we got 1, 2, maybe 3 logs, and they're going to be about 14 inches in diameter. So that's a decent tree. We wanted to get some cherry out of it. We could use that one. But once again, that would be better suited as a tree to drop seeds. And I know what you're thinking, reproduce. Cherry reproduces. We'll never be able to cut it in our lifetime. I'm 66 years old. You're right. I'd never be able to cut a cherry from that, from production. I'll be too old, but the next person who owns this property would be able to, and by conserving the trees like that, leaving ones to leave seed behind, this will be a nice forest. Now we got this third cherry. This cherry's been hit on the bottom, so that's definitely going to be rotten up to here, maybe a little further. It's pretty straight all the way up. I don't see any blemishes in the trunk anywheres. So other than some crooks, we got 2 good logs in the base, a couple of good logs for slabs up there, and 1 more good log up there for straight boards. So I would take this cherry down with confidence. I would say it's going to be a pretty solid tree. So out of the 3 trees, this is the one I would choose right here. All right, guys, that's just a quick lesson on how we look at trees to tell what's in them. We'll get more in depth with this when we get a chance. Got ourselves a fisher track right here. We've seen a lot of those since we came up here this morning. Fishers are overrunning the property. Nobody's trapping them because the fur prices are down. Oh well, they're tough on the squirrels and they're tough on the baby deer. Maybe we'll start trapping a few this next year. All right, Tim's heading south on the trails. I'm heading west. Gonna make sure the trails are open. Down past my tree fort on the bottom part. Tim saw a flag a little while ago. So there was a deer back in here. That's pretty cool. This snow's this deep and the deer are still hanging tight. That means they still have stuff to eat. Stuff to eat comes from second growth. When you open an area up, first and second growth that comes in, that's what deer love. Alright guys, before us lies an unbroken trail. But fortunately during this storm, we got warm temperatures, 54 degrees, and lots of rain. So any snow that was here, it packed it down. Any snow that fell before it started to rain, it packed it down. And then it snowed on top of it, which is what we're breaking now. But it's pretty solid. There's some more fishing tracks, guys. Yeah, let's see what we got here. A set of deer tracks. More deer tracks. Some of these are pretty fresh. I'm surprised we're not seeing deer other than just that one. So far, only one set of coyote tracks. That's good in a way. We'd like to keep the coyotes down to a minimum. We've made it down to the lower tree fort. I'll wait for Tim to catch up with me. And then I'm going to break this trail down around the food plot, because we are going to put our coyote popsicles out pretty soon. We do have some more fisher tracks. They're all over down here by the tree fort. That track right there looks like a bobcat track. Yeah, I might have a bobcat running around here too. Yeah, I got fisher tracks and I got a bobcat track. Oh yeah. What's that?
The cherry tree and the Inchco we were looking at the other night is pretty big.
Yeah, it is. Alright, we're going to head down here and break the trail around the food plot and head on out and check out some of these logs on the mill. What?
Not on the tree. What is that?
Oh, that? You know what that is?
Let me ask you a question. Does a bear shit in the woods?
No, but Rick does.
He does. There's a toilet.
Hey, you're going to have the creature comforts at home. You might as well have something to relax on, right? Am I right or wrong, guys? Obviously, it doesn't bother the wildlife. Show the big buck right here. And some more fisher tracks. Oh, that's a big boy right there.
Whatever this is, it's fine. It's not raining.
All right, guys. We're going to head on out of here and head back down to the mill. See about cutting up a couple of spalted maples. This is our pond. I'm walking on it.
You're nuts.
All right. I'm nuts, but I'm not that nuts. That's cool though. We have to change the blade on the mill before we can saw any logs at all. The other blade has gotten pretty dull. Got that salamander running in here. It's 9 degrees outside, but it's warmed it up in here enough to where I don't have to wear gloves and I can't see my breath. It's amazing too because this is not airtight. But just these tarps around the mill building makes a big difference. And of course, I tried to start the tractor to move it back to get to the mill, and it won't start because it's so cold. So we got it on the charger, and we'll run that heater pointing towards it for a little while. It'll fire up. It won't let me down. Well, I told you it would start eventually. I can't see in here. Alright guys, thanks for joining us on this one. Until the next one, we'll see you later.